Street Knowledge Podcast, back. Waiting for some people to pull up in here. We got a lot to talk about, man. A lot to talk about. A lot of idiot ass people out here on this planet, man. And it's sad. It's sad. A lot of people don't got nothing else to talk about, or know how to mind their business, or don't have no business of their own in their own city. It's sad, man. When a person talk about things that they don't even know the person, haven't never even seen these people. They are infatuated with other people's lives. It's crazy. That's a sign of some mental illness, man. If y'all new to the channel, make sure y'all subscribe, man. Subscribe, hit that notification so you know when I'm up here. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. We wait for a few more people to come in. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and get straight to the point. Anybody come in new just have to catch up to what's going on. But I wanna go over a few things with this clown guy, man, stays on everybody page trolling, and that's what his page consists of. And people that is a fan of a person that's trolling, that make me wonder and think twice about you because it's crazy. And a lot of people that will watch is probably doing research on what do stupidity look like and see what a person or how far a person would go with their channels and see certain things that they can see on these idiots page because sometimes you have to deflect, or should I say put an elbow in a lot of these clowns necks. And a few of my people been hitting me up saying, yo man, the clown over in Detroit speaking out again and talking about something that he don't have nothing to do with, don't know what he talking about, and evidently he's been reading Rich Porter's baby mother's book, and he feel that he could speak about somebody and say somebody is a liar, which he don't even know nobody. And she speaks of Azie and what they went through and things of that nature. And I don't knock nobody for putting something together to make some money and utilize certain things in a certain way to make some money. You know what I'm saying? So, but still, if some things is not right, some things is not accurate, then some of that stuff probably sometime needs to be addressed. And a few people been calling me up, and telling me, yo, man, that clown from Detroit speaking about something with Rich Baby Mother's book and things of that nature. And I'm like, word. So yeah, I'm like, so they say, yeah, we need to go check that out. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go check it out. So I went and checked it out, and we're gonna do some reactions to this clown. And shout out to Detroit. I got a lot of official Detroit dudes, man. And this dude don't count. He don't even come outside, be in the basement, and calling out somebody how somebody hygiene is. Look at the you can look in the basement to tell that it something ain't smelling real appropriate over there, man. You can almost probably smell it through TV, man, for real. But we're gonna start it off listening to some of his stuff, and I'm gonna break some of this stuff down for the book, stuff that he reads off in the book, and stuff like that. So we'll see. Let me see something, man.
Um, it has long been my position that this dude Az is a scumbag. You feel me? A liar and a creep.
See what I'm saying? He calling somebody a liar and a creeper. He don't even know him. He's what, like I said in the thumbnail, this one-sided story stuff. It's crazy. But anybody that sit in the crib and talk crazy about people all day long, man, that's a sign of a scumbag and a creep. Period. Because really, if you was really outside, I don't think a person like that would last long in no parts, nowhere that does ignorant stuff like this. But we're gonna listen to the Dumbo stupidity talk.
The Angela Solomon book further gives validity to my train of thought. And I know I can't be the
And he talk about validity, and he don't even know her. That's deep.
feeling like this. In the book, Richard and I, she divulged that her and AZ slept together shortly after Richard's passing. Now, it takes two people to tango. I understand that.
So if you understand it take two people to tangle, why is you speaking one-sided stories, bro? Nothing you saying is making sense. But we're gonna go there. Because he gonna read off some of the stuff. I'm gonna let him read it off. I was gonna read it off for you guys, but then again I might. Gotta see what some of it say. But we're gonna listen to him first real quick.
Putting all the blame on AZ, but it still was scumbag behavior. It was envious behavior. You feel me? She
And first of all, how you know that it's true that it happened? That's deep right there. But okay, let's go.
feels as if he played on her vulnerabilities and said as such in the book. You know what I'm saying? And said as much in the book. Let's get to a couple of these excerpts, man. She says, well, she's very explicit in the way she talks, so I'm gonna tone it down just a bit in the rhetoric, but you'll get the gist of it. She said, when I first slept with AZ, it was the beginning of the summer of 1990, after Richard got killed. She said she was on the block, and AZ called her over to her car, called her over to his car, and asked her if her and her daughter was doing all right. She said, AZ,
So she said she was on the block, and AZ called her over to the car. She ain't say he pulled up, nothing. She was on the block. Which block? We trying to figure out which block. But we gonna go from here.
how me and Rashada was doing. I told him she was okay. AZ took a stack of $5 bills out of his pocket and handed it to me. Take this for you and Rashada. I put the money in my pocket and thanked him. AZ told me, take his beeper number and beep him if I or Rashada ever needed anything. As soon as AZ left, I went upstairs to see how much money he gave me. He gave me $5 million. I mean, not 5 million. He gave me $500. Now that's the bait.
All right, so we're gonna go back to that.
I told him she was okay.
Because he ain't reading everything what I'm seeing on his screen right now. So he got on the beginning, it says, Rashana and Rashanya and my friends once Richard got killed. Okay, I don't know what that line because it's blocked off. We walked up to Sugar Hill 145th at St. Nick. See, he ain't say none of that. We walked up there to see the guys. Went to see what guys? Why is you walking on 145th? She said Rich told she did everything Rich told her not to do, but now he passed away, she doing it. So that means she already knows she going up there scheming and looking for something, right? But let me see. We walked up there to see the guys, which AZ don't be on 145th. Our block is 146th Street in St. Nicholas. A don't be on 145th. Anyway, we walked to Grant's tomb with our strollers and kids. Whenever they were playing music, we were there. Talking about Grant's tomb, everybody used to go hang out at Grant's tomb. I did exactly what Richard used to tell me not to do. I was walking the streets of Harlem every time the weather permitted. That's when I now skipped over straight into that's when I effed AZ, sexed AZ, whatever you want to call it for this YouTube. Excuse me, YouTube. But it was the beginning of the summer of 1990, right after Richard got unalived. I can't remember where I was. I nobody can't remember where they was, but okay. I might have been walking, or maybe I was standing on 140th Street. I don't remember. You don't remember if you was walking or standing somewhere? Come on, but you remember everything else. Come on, man. I don't remember, but I do remember Az calling me over to his car. What kind of car? Question mark. I can't remember. I just remember Az calling me over to his car and asking me if I was okay. I said yes. Az asked me how Rashana was doing. I told him she was okay. Az took a stack of $5 bills out of his pocket and handed it to me. Take this for you and Rashana. I put the money in my pocket and thanked him. Az told me to take his beeper number and beep him if Rashana ever need anything. And see, homie started from the bottom of the paragraph. He didn't read all that other stuff up there. But none of that really made sense. That she didn't remember and none of that stuff. But okay, we'll finish listening to this clown.
He took a stack of $5 bills out of his pocket and handed it to me. Take this for you and Rashana. I put the money in my pocket and thanked him. Az told me take his beeper number and beep him if I or Rashana ever needed anything. As soon as Az left, I went upstairs to see how much money he gave me. He gave me $5 million. I mean, not 5 million. He gave me $500. Now that's the bait. She just lost the breadwinner. You feel me? Uh, Richard just passed. She was probably financially strapped, and he about knew that. You feel me? He envied almost everything Richard had, his lifestyle, the money he was making. That's what, in my opinion, drove him to become a drug dealer in the first place. And if you watch Paid in Full,
See what I'm saying? He said he Az envious rich. Evidently, in his opinion, that's what he think. See what I'm saying? See, a lot of people get smacked in their mouth for speaking about stuff that they don't know what they talking about. And you can't be opinionated on nothing you don't know what you're talking about, brother. You're not even from Harlem to even be speaking about that. Az was getting his own money. Rich Porter was locked up. Stupid. He was locked up. A came through and fly toys all day, every day. Fly cribs, all of the above. Before even Rich got started with his big rendezvous. Yeah, before Rich went to jail, he was getting money, hustling, on his come up. But he wasn't the Rich Porter who you know him as, who you jock riding right now as of today. A was at the beginning of that. Rich always was a fly young dude. Don't get it twisted. But all the cars and all that, what you started seeing later on down the road, Rich was locked up. When he came home is when that started. But A was doing all that when Rich was locked up. So he didn't have no reason to be jealous of Rich Porter. Get your stories right where you be talking. You's a clown. I don't even know how you last that long in Detroit with all them real thorough dudes running around over there. They probably ain't even gonna waste their time with a dude like you, man. That's what it really gotta be. But we'll finish listening to this clown.
you'll see as much. When the dude, I think Wood Harris is playing him or whatnot, how he looking at Rich when he working at the cleaners and everything. I am Rich when he come through in a new car, when he come through with the jewelry and the clothes and stuff like that, he was envious of that lifestyle.
And clown, when people watch people like that, only people think like that is clowns like you. If a person seen a person ride through and something fly and seen it, that's called inspiration to make them want to do better and rock. Well, how you get in your mind that that means somebody's envious? You sound stupid. And if he was envious, Rich wouldn't have wanted him around. If you seen that and paid in full, kept going to get with A and get this money A and enticing them to get right. But anyway, that story ain't even real. What you seen about the cleaners? That was a added to the script thing. So, and I'm in the movie, so I could tell you all of that. Stupo, you stupid. You a clown. But let's finish listening to Dumb. See, this is a lesson. This is one of these street knowledge lessons where we teach ignorant people, and you got to talk to them in this fashion. But we getting ready to finish.
Even envious of him in the bedroom, and the woman said as much. But we'll get to that. Let me get back.
Now you worrying about men bedroom tendencies, bro. What kind of dude is you, man? I don't care if a woman saying whatever you talking about. You sound crazy. Never even seen you with a woman nowhere. Walk nowhere with a woman, man. We might gotta watch you. You probably suspect, brother. In the basement on low. Yeah, one of them guys.
Man. But that was the play. That was to set it up right there. Huh? Take this little bread. You feel me? Gave her $505 bills. Yeah, I guess he was giving her all the small change he had on. She said a few weeks went by, and I decided to beat Azie and ask him for money to buy Rashana a battery-operated Barbie car. I beat Azie, and he called me back. Azie asked me how much it cost. I told him it was $250. He brought the money to me.
Now, this is why he shouldn't have been playing the one side of the fence, because she now saying that she's paging him and asking for stuff. And sometimes I wonder, with some people, when they know they playing in the waters of where they know they shouldn't even be playing at, but they still do it anyway. For real, for real. Cause $250, man, that ain't really nothing to ask to get for your own child, man. There should have been a way that you could have made when it got $250 a job, something, and not only that, you know, it meaning ask when you really need something. That was something that you just buy for your child because they want it. That should have been something you took care of your own. But this clown don't know what he talking about by even expressing that. But I'm gonna read off this other paragraph he just put up here. Wise up, because he might not read off certain things. I'm going through this just like y'all going through it right now. Reading, looking at this video at the same time, and I'm letting y'all hear it. But a few weeks go by, and I decided to beep AZ and ask him for money to buy Rashana a battery-operated Barbie car. I beeped AZ, and he called me back, asked me how much it cost. I told him it was $250, and he brought the money to me. The first time I SEX AZ was at the music studio, he asked me to meet him on 142nd Street between Lenox and Fifth Avenue, right by the Armory. AZ said he wanted me to hear some music he was working on and asked me if I would go to the studio with him. I said yes. I jumped in the car and we drove off. The music studio was downtown Brooklyn. A few of his friends were at the studio with us. So hold on before I get back on that. So the last paragraph that we was reading, that I was reading, it said was something about was the first time that she sexed AZ, but it didn't say nothing about music studio. So I'm confused. I might backtrack, but I don't feel like backtracking to that part right now. But not only that, it was the first time was in the studio. Wow. Some people got, big courage to speak about how they did things as far as having their morals intact. That's deep. But it happens. You can sex your loved one anywhere, in the car, on the beach, on the sand. It don't matter if y'all rocking like that. So I get it. But I'll let y'all drop comments and decide on that one. But anyway, she jumped in the car. We drove off. She said the music studio was downtown Brooklyn. A few of his friends was there. That's true because I used to go to the studio. Was in the studio with us. I can't remember. Meaning it's true that the studio's in Brooklyn. Don't get that twisted, y'all. I can't remember who all was there. I believe it was. the Garrow, and it was an AZ studio too. Let me get back to that. He didn't own that studio, so I don't know how that was happening. But okay, I can't remember who all was there. I believe it was the Garrow, Diggaroo, and Little Bop. Never heard of that name, the Garrow. Never heard of Little Bop. Never. She probably trying to call Whip. His name is Whip Wop. He was the youngest of the bunch. If anybody know Whip Wop is, the Garrow, never heard of that in life. He's never part of none of the mob style movement, none of that. Unless he's somebody I don't know about, but I pretty much know everybody who's part of the movement at that time. She said they were AZ's friends. She said the music studio, a few of his friends was there at the studio with us. I can't remember who all was there, but I believe it was down here. And then she said they were AZ friends. This book ain't really been professionally wrote either. It didn't have no editing done to it because it's saying the same thing twice. We wouldn't even have to say that if you already said his friends was there. But anyway, I believe they also rapped on his mob style album. That's a no. That's how I know that's not true. Um, AZ's record label was called Mob Style. Everybody already know that in the streets. The studio was a nice little hangout spot with chairs and a couch. That's a nice hangout spot. No, the studio was no just no chairs and a couch. But anyway, it was a real cozy with dim lights. I guess she's setting up for the why they had sex. We listened to some of the rap songs Az and his friends recorded. Az and I talked about Richard for a little while. But we're gonna go back to finish and listen to this stupo dude.
First time she slept with AZ was at the music studio. He asked her to go to the music studio with him on 142nd Street between Lenox and Fifth Avenue, right by the Armory. She said he wanted her to check out some new songs, so he trying to impress her. Taking her to the studio, he got a label. You know what I'm saying? He wanted her to listen to some songs. She said it was a cool. What she say? The music studio was downtown Brooklyn. A few of his friends were at the studio with us. I can't remember who all was there. I believe it was Debunking and Lil Bop. They were AZ's friends. I believe they also rapped on his Mob Style album. AZ's record label was called Mob Style. The studio was nice. The studio was a nice little hangout spot with chairs and a couch. It was real cozy with dim lights. We listened to some rap songs AZ and his friends recorded. Now, she said AZ and I talked about Richard for a little while. At the time, it was not confirmed that Alpo had killed Rich. So, nigga, I mean, he's playing on her vulnerabilities, just like she said. She just lost Rich. He played on her vulnerabilities, vulnerability.
He can't even say vulnerability correctly. But first of all, evidently she played on his vulnerability as well as her own. She already knew what she wanted, and he knew what he wanted. If that be the case, and this is my reasons for people that speak about something that they don't got no reason to be speaking about on a one-sided note. And now, he's doing it for content to try to make it sound like he's talking about something and pointing the finger. But yeah, let me read off what the finishing touch or whatever he was talking about Alpo. They wasn't sure about Alpo unalive Rich. We talked about the time he got robbed, the time when 6 people got shot up, 3 died, and 3 survived. Az told me the whole story. Az said he was coming from playing basketball. He was with a 13-year-old little girl. He didn't say that the girl was 13, but the news reported that it was a 13-year-old girl included in the shooting. Besides, I knew the girl. She was about 4 or 5 years younger than me. Az was 23 at the time. Yeah, a real creep. He a real creep. But you knew about it on the news, but you over there with him though. How that sound? First of all, the girl was nowhere around at the basketball game. No girl was at the basketball game. He was playing basketball with Rich Porter and a few other friends. I was there. I was supposed to get something from A that day, and I didn't get picked to play the ball because they already had their teams and they was on the block talking about who's doing what and what's what. And um, so they shot over to the park real quick to settle whatever they was talking about. So I'm over there. I was really didn't want them to play because I needed to get what I needed. But oh well, me and my homeboy Keith Caesar was together. So while they was playing, Rich Porter, Azie, Rich Porter had his team, Azie had his team. I'm like, yo, I'll be back. I'm riding around. I'm going to hang out, see what I can get myself into. I'll just wait till the game over. Me and my boy left. We had a rental car, a Nova rental car that weekend. Um, anyway, we we come back to the park. They all gone. I guess the game was over. They didn't play that many games. I tried to time them because normally when we play three, four different games. They didn't play that many. So I tell my boy, yo, come on, man, we out. I know where he at. He in the Bronx at the crib. I'm going to get what I need to get because he already know I supposed to be coming. There was no girl with him at all. So that's a lie in the book. Who was with him was Charlie C. God bless him. He was unalived in the house. My boy Cato. Excuse me. God bless Cato. My boy Ricky. Y'all can see him. Ricky Runos and Calio was with him. And as they was going into the building, while Ricky and Calio didn't get jammed up in that bum situation that them dudes did, was because when Joanne threw the keys out the window, A thought she was drunk. And I think she says this in some of the stuff. I'm gonna finish reading it in a minute for y'all. A thought that she was drunk. Keys come flying out the window. They go inside. A on his way. They almost getting ready to go upstairs. A said, "Oh, I forgot. Damn, I need some bottles," and sent Calio and Rick to go get bottles. But before they actually went in the house, the girl pulls up in a cab, jump out the cab, yelling, "AZA, stalking him." And he was like, "Yo, what are you doing up here? You ain't answering my calls." He wasn't answering calls, wasn't calling her back or whatever, however it may go, paging him and whatever. And she's like, "Damn, man, come on, man, you over here already." And that's how she ended up over there by chasing this man down and ended up in the house. And she didn't get unalive because she wasn't sitting still for them to aim right properly at her head. She kept running around the house. "Get off of me! Get off of me!" A didn't get unalive because he was fighting for the toast out of Kevin's hand. I'm just making a long story short. I could get deep into detail, but for people to be talking crazy stuff and just to make money ain't right. Speak about what's right, then that's cool. It is what it is. I'm just speaking about what I see, the little flaws inside. And then a person that ain't even from Harlem speaking about Harlem business and been doing it for years, and people be watching this troll just to make money off of off of uh off of utilizing stories that he know people want to hear and doing it in an ignorant manner. And he's a clown. But anyway, she said Az, hold up, was a real creep, but still sexed him though. Az said they was going to an apartment in the Bronx. It was him, the young girl, and a male friend of his. That's a lie. It was 3 male friends. Like I said, Charlie C, Calio, and Rick Runo. And the girl popped out of nowhere out of a cab before they could start walking into the building. So that's a no-no in the book. I forgot if Az said if it was his apartment or not, but it obviously was where he stashed his money and drugs. He never stashed nothing there. He used to just leave little stuff there to bottle up, or if he knew he got something for somebody, he'll probably leave it there and tell them to come get it. That's about it. Other than that, he really never left nothing real serious there. It was just somewhere to be comfortable to bottle up for the spot. So no, obviously it's not. So that sound good in the book, but it's basically off of stories that was already heard out here in the street. Is what I'm kind of reading right here. This ain't really saying nothing really too intricate or uh like a formal one on one with a person. This is not really none of that. This he said he knew something was not right when he got to the building because he asked Joanne or Myra to throw the keys out the window so he could get in the front door. He didn't ask for her to throw the keys out the window. But she did say in the next paragraph, the next sentence rather, he said the keys just came flying out the window. That's true. I believe Joanne and Myra lived in the apartment. No, it was Miss Joanne apartment, lady that he looked at as an aunt. Back then, people used to let the drug dealers use their apartments, and most of the time, the drug dealers made sure the bills were paid. I did not know Joanne or Myra, but my godmother, Miss Laura, was a bartender at the Third Palm Bar uptown in Washington Heights. My godmother said I guess we'll finish listening to this clown, maybe some more pop up.
with her daughter. You know, if you or your daughter need anything, he'll take this for you and the baby. Now he playing on her vulnerability with Richard, speaking to her about that situation and how it hurt and how it felt and whatnot. She said we talked about the time he got robbed too. The time 6 people got shot up, 3 died, 3 survived. Az told me the whole story. Az said he was coming from playing basketball. He was with the 13-year-old little girl. Nah, bang, stop right there, because Az said.
No, you stop right there. You dumb, stupid FUCK dude. The girl wasn't with him, period. You was a clown. This dude is a clown, man. I just want y'all to hear how stupid people will follow and clout chase and nut hole. You nut holding, boy. You don't even know nothing you talking about, man. Like who be listening to this dumb fool? He's a fool. Worse than you a fool, boy.
Was already there. If you remember Az telling this story, he said the little girl was at his apartment. She had caught a cab to his apartment and basically met.
See, I just said that. Bingo. And she didn't basically meet him. She popped up. He didn't even know it. She was stalking him. Get your story right, stupo.
Door met him over there or something like that.
So now, if you heard Az tell a story and you reading this book and you hearing it from this woman, so automatically you believe what she's saying in the book, and he telling you the story how it happened. But you supposed to be a smart dude, man. You a clown, homie, for real. Where they make people at like you?
It's because I questioned how she knew where his stash spot was. If he wasn't having a sexual relationship with this minor, this child, this 13-year-old, it said 12-year-old in the paper, by the way. You feel me? Not 13. It said 12-year-old as I found the article. But that's neither here nor there. Um, he tells her that the little girl was with him already, playing when he was playing basketball, and she traveled with him to the house. He didn't say the girl was 13, but the news pointed out, but the news reported that it was a 13-year-old girl included in the shooting. Besides, I knew the girl. She was about 4 or 5 years younger than me. Az was 23 at the time. Yeah, a real creep. So she even knew back then that was uncivilized behavior. You don't know grown-ass man to be dealing with a child, a 12, 13-year-old. You dig what I'm talking about? She told the story about Az going into the building and this and that and the other blase. I ain't gonna get into all of that. I'm trying to get to the parts that need.
See, he don't want to talk about the other parts. He want to talk about something that sound like he talking about something, but he don't know nothing he talking about. But I'm glad to get to the good parts that's felonious, because I'm here to check it all, because I was there day one, period. Straight like that. L Blizz, what up? Ron Books, that's a fact.
Talking about. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Let's see. Az said, no, we ain't gonna get there.
Well,
I
they,
believe Az said it was a young girl, Lynette, that crawled to the phone and called for help. I guess she was one. The young girl was. I think she did survive, but I ain't sure she called for help or not. That might just be what he telling her. She said we talked, we ordered food and chilled for a while. One thing led to the next thing.
and see, this dude is a clown. Right, but see, L Blizz, I ain't mad listening to him. I'm mad that he's reading off Rich Porter's sister book. I mean, Rich Porter's baby mother's book. Excuse me. The girl, he said the girl survived because she crawled and she crawled and got to the phone. You stupid fool. When Rick and Callio got upstairs, they noticed that the door, when they got back, they had to wait in front of the building. Finally, somebody let them in. When they got upstairs, the door was cracked and it was dark. So they didn't know whether to go in or not. They knew something wasn't right. Something wasn't right. So they was deciding should they call the police or not. They didn't want to because they know it was work inside. But other than that, A would have still been in there. Something wasn't right. And all the ladies and her friends was in there. It was a gay guy that was a friend of Miss Joanne and her homegirl. Everybody got killed. Unalive, excuse me. Besides A and the girl. They downstairs by the payphone that was right there, and Rick took it upon himself, said he's calling the ambulance
All I know,
and the police. And he called the police and the ambulance. They came. The ambulance drivers told him they pulling them all out of the building. The ambulance told my bro Rick. They said if you wouldn't have called any seconds, if you would have called any seconds later, Az wouldn't be here. Az would have passed away as well. So he saved Az life. And if it wasn't for Ricky Runos, it wouldn't be no paid in full movie right now because Az wouldn't have lived to even tell about the movie. So ain't no girl, young girl, survived and crawled and called the police. Get your stories right. You's a clown, boy. Earth disturbing. You out here for nothing. We'll finish listening to some more of this dumb talk, yo. Hold up.
she said one thing led to the next thing. I know Az and I were having sex.
A man who works hard sweats hard.
Old Spice swag.
Hold
I
up.
didn't remember how it felt. I didn't even remember.
Uh, she said she didn't remember how the sex felt. I mean, she was numbing herself. I mean, damn, man. People do whatever for some bread. That shit, that's crazy to me, man. You gonna want to know how it feels if you're doing something. But anyway, it raised were partners and they both were very nice ladies. Az said that the keys being thrown out the window was different because they never just threw the keys out the window like that. Az said the three of them went upstairs, and as soon as they got to the door, they were grabbed inside the apartment. Az said Joanne and Myra was already tied up and on their knees waiting to be killed execution style. Az said the killers took him straight into the bedroom to where the safe was. That's a lie. That's a lie. The safe was right there. They all was in the living room and they was talking about open the safe up. How he know one of the killer dudes was Kevin and A was looking out for him. That was his sister's boyfriend. And when he came from jail, A looked out for him. So he thought that he gonna scheme and plot behind A back, being the A taking them up there, letting them bottle up, giving them 2, 3 thousand every time they go up there. He thinking there's some real money in there, and it wasn't. Period. And they kept telling him to open the safe, pistol whipping him, and he telling them no, ain't no money in the safe. And he told me he didn't open the safe because they would have killed everybody and him if he would have did it that easy. He said no. He told him I got more money. I got real money. Ain't no real money here. In his mind, he gonna make them take him outside, and he gonna take off running. At least when they try and kill him, because he know they was gonna pop him. Regardless, they gonna shoot him in the street, and somebody get to see it and know who it is. If it's done in the house, they'll get away with it. So he told them all that, and then oh yeah, they're gonna take him to get real. They're gonna take us to get some real money. If you listen to the story, if y'all ever heard the story, if he ever said it, and once Kevin said go take us to get the real money, they took all the people in the back rooms, made them lay on the bed as you seen in the movie. You should have watched Paid It Forward a little deeper. And this goes for whoever with these crazy stories. The girl wouldn't go in the back room. She wouldn't go in there. So they hit her in the head right there, but they ain't hit her right. So she didn't get unalived. But anyway, they thinking they going to get some more money. They make A go in the bathroom and wash his face off from the pistol whipping and all that because they know they got to take him outside. And he talking to Kevin in there, telling Kevin he is sucking. Kevin like, what? You wasn't looking out for me. Wasn't looking out for you. What? And then A hear all the shots. Pop, pop. And he grabbed Kevin. And when he grabbed Kevin, Kevin had a Tech 9. And he grabbing for the gun and tussling for the gun to get the gun out of Kevin's hand. Next thing he said, he don't know. He just woke up. He just felt weary headed. Next thing you know, he woke up in the hospital. I mean, one of the dudes in there heard him tussling with the dude, with Kevin, and must have came and hit him from behind. That's how that happened. People talking about stuff they don't know what they talking about. But hold up, let me see where I was reading that. Az said the killers took him straight to the bedroom to where the safe was. We know that's a lie. He said the killers kept asking him to open the safe. He refused. He heard gunshots in the other room. See, that's the lie right there. After he told me he gonna take him to get money, he took him in the room. They took him in the bathroom to wash the blood off. Story backwards, wrong in this book. He said the killers kept asking him to open the safe and he refused. He heard gunshots in the other room. He said he knew one of the guys, so he knew they were going to kill him anyway, which is Kevin. Az said after hearing the killers shoot everyone else, he began to fight for his life. While he was trying to fight the killers, no, he was fighting. He was tussling with one to get the gun out of his hand. They shot him multiple times. Then they left, hoping that he was dead, but he wasn't. I believe Az said it was the young girl, Lynette, that crawled to the phone to call for help. No. And see, this good dude ain't reading from the top of the stuff because the top of the stuff is where a bunch of the lies is at. He just going to stuff that just sound like making A look like a creep and a sucker. He ain't reading off the stuff where it's all lies. Yeah, facts, boys. It's all false. I believe Az said it was the young girl Annette that crawled to the phone to call him. No, Rick called from the payphone. So get it right. We talked, ordered food, and chilled for a little while. One thing led to the next, and the next thing. I know Az and I were having sex, but she don't remember. I don't remember how it felt. I don't remember where he had where we had sex at or what was our sex position. How nobody don't know where they had sex at or their sex position. And it's in a studio without a bed or none of that. So you ain't gonna remember on the couch or on the speakers on the studio computer board. You sitting on top, he on the back. That come on, man. That sounds wild to me, man. You gotta at least remember the position and where at if you was in a small circumference, small space. That's bugged out to me, man. I'm just guessing it was doggy style, so she gonna guess it was. Yo, this is wild, man. I remember Az saying he wanted to use my ass on his album cover. Az said he liked the way my ass looked, and she remember all of that. Let's finish hearing this clown talk.
We had sex at, or what was our sex position? I'm just guessing it was doggy style. I remember Az saying he liked the way her bottom looked, and he wanted her bottom on his album cover. He said he liked the way her bottom looked from hitting her from behind or whatnot. This is according to her in the book. You dig what I'm talking about? Nah. She said she didn't plan on having sex with A. She just went along with the flow. Okay. She said they had sex two other times, and each time money was involved. You dig? Now he tells her initially, you need anything, call me, and it's not other blase split. Now it turned into quid pro quo. You know what I'm saying? Quid pro quo. Whatever they call it. You know what I'm saying? It turned into backpage.com or something like that. Like, oh, you call, oh, well, come by and get it. Well, I'm gonna pick you up and we gonna, you know what I'm saying? And she get the money afterwards. You dig? He was treating her, playing her like a prostitute. You dig what I'm talking about?
This dude is a clown. Well, what was she doing and what was she thinking about every time she was calling to go get it? I'm trying to figure that out. Y'all leave some comments on that one, man. Let me know. She said I need a few dollars, so I beeped Az. When Az called back, I told him I needed a few dollars. He said okay. It told me to beat him on 142nd Street where we met before, right before Lyrics Avenue, Fifth Avenue, whatever. So she knew what she was going to do. I mean, I ain't mad at a woman don't speak their mind and all that. I'm just saying nobody can't be calling out names and all that. But I'm just trying to figure out what's the purpose of the book. What is the meaning of putting out a book? Sometimes you want to people tell their stories for their lifestyle so it can send a message to people. Maybe it's teaching these young girls don't get caught up with these young drug dealers. Maybe that's what the book could stand for right now. But you use a key point names that is like high figured out here, and and that's really to me look like a quick money grab for real. Ron Book said they both knew what it was. That's what it sounds like. That's a fact. That's a fact. She said, I met Az and we went to a hotel in Jersey. I don't remember where the hotel was at in New Jersey or the name of the hotel. I just remember relaxing in the jacuzzi waiting for Az to come back from wherever he went. Az dropped me off and said he had to make a run. When he came back, we ordered food. We effed and went to sleep. The next morning, Az gave me $1,000 and dropped me off in Harlem. The last time Az and I effed, we were at his apartment in Parkchester. And I want to get back to the other part when it first began, when she said she seen him on 140th. He ain't never hung on no 140th. How was she just bumping to him on 140th? I wanted to check that part of the book too. Never hung on 140th, and 140th is same nigga crosses our park where they shot New Jack City in. And in that park, only thing A would have been at is playing ball there, and you would have seen other dudes around. She never say none of that stuff or nothing. But never really played. A never really played ball in that park. It had to be really serious conversation. They had to get to it right then and there from 146 where my block is, and like we going down there. But it wasn't no on the regular, and it would have been other dudes standing around them or 140th. No, nah. But anyway, so she said the last time they did it was they sex was in Parkchester. I had a beeper and Az beat me. I did not know it was Az. I called the number back and Az answered. the phone. Normally we put in codes back then so a person know who it is, but maybe they ain't put in the code, I guess. He said, "Come to Parkchester. I got something for you. I'm going to send a cab to get you." Az sent the cab to get me from 40th Street, and I went to Parkchester. Parkchester is a section of the Bronx. Az had an apartment inside of Parkchester condominium complex. All right, let's hear this clown.
Um, she said I needed a few dollars, so I beat AZ. When I called AZ, when AZ called me back, I told him I needed a few dollars. He said, oh, "Okay." Told me to meet him on 142nd Street, where we met before, right between Lenox and Fifth Ave. I met AZ and we went to a hotel in Jersey. Now that lets you know in his mind, he feel like he was wrong. He ain't dealing with her in New York even. You feel me? He took her to Jersey. You, now I'm pretty sure impressive places in New York that he could have took her, but he, to avoid being spotted, in my mind, he took her to Jersey.
See, in his mind, Az took her to Jersey so to avoid from being spotted. See, this is the problem, man. Why dudes like him will get beat down with his name in people's mouth, man. With people names in his mouth for not knowing what you talking about, brother. Everybody went to Jersey back in the day. You was that dude if you went to Jersey. That's where you go and sneak and all of the above. Nobody wasn't going downtown, New York, stupid. And Jersey is right across the bridge, Route 4. You don't know what you're talking about. Ron Borg said that's how Harlem was getting down. Houses in New Jersey. Yeah, hotels in New Jersey. Facts. Stupid. That's where we all went. And some of them hotels was just some little quick stay, short stays. You get you a short stay, $40. You get you an hour, 2 hours, and all that. Or up in the Bronx, by Either Wall and all that. Or what other one spots we used to go in the Bronx? Gun Hill Road in Jersey. See, you don't know what you talking about. You bum Detroit clown. And you speaking about in your mind because you reading off a book and you judging somebody. Boy, you's a clown, man. Yeah, White Stone, Ron Books, facts. White Stone. See, I got real official New Yorkers on here, man. You can't fake and make this stuff up, boy. You's a clown, homie, in New York business and not minding your own. And speaking about somebody else's business because you read something that don't even make sense. It makes sense because the story is what we heard before. But I'm trying to figure out what's the purpose of the book. But I ain't, I'm just mad at a person like you trying to bring light to the book like you know what you talking about. And you ain't even from these streets. You don't even got nobody to vouch and say that they can tell you these stories. And you just sitting back in a Roach motel somewhere, boy. And I ain't saying that because I was running with A and whatever. I'm saying it because you was out of line for doing it. If it was anybody else and I knew them, I would speak about it. But you out of line for trying to paint a picture, boy. Negative conversation go a long way. So I gotta come back and check your negativity and check the things that's in this book that's not real reality. Cause I was there personally. I would have been in that house when A got unalive because I was supposed to go with him. And thank God that I wasn't. That I just left while they was playing basketball because him and Rich Porter and them was disputing about who nice and what normal talk that we had before we went and played ball. So I waited around and I thank God that I missed him and he left already. Because if I would have got there in time when they was leaving, I would have been with them. Going over to the crib. All right, come on, we out. So it'd have been probably five, me and my other homeboy. So it'd have been five guys with him and then the girl. So stop talking Harlem business, you bum dusty dude For real, you ain't get my last. Y'all need to go check my last joint that I did on this dude. When he got the LL broom on the pool table, that was him on the pool table, man. Y'all need to go check that. But yeah, let's finish listening to this dumb dude. Don't know what he talking about. Everybody went to Jersey. Stupid. Everybody. That was the it thing to do. Stupid.
I don't remember where the hotel was at in New Jersey or the name of the hotel. I just remember relaxing in a jacuzzi, waiting for AZ to come back from wherever he went. AZ dropped me off and said he had to make a run. When he came back, we ordered food, had sex, and went to sleep. The next morning, AZ gave me $1,000 and dropped me off in Harlem. See what I'm saying? She beat him for a few bucks that day. She had to wait till the next morning in order for him to complete the act, in order for him to get what he wanted out of the situation. You dig what I'm saying? In order to
And $1,000 ain't just a few bucks, you bum. You wouldn't know that anyway. But anyway, why would somebody take money up front? That's prostitution. Stupid. You getting paid for a service. So back then, dudes was tricking. That's what it was called, tricking. After you leave, you look out for the shorty if you choose to. Everybody wasn't doing it, but if that's what they was doing, that's what they was doing. Don't try to make it look like something else. You sound stupid. They do it in everywhere. They feel like looking out for the girl, they look out for the girl. So get out of here, man. You an idiot, homie.
bread that he told her initially to call for. So that's how you know he was setting up a play, man. The last time AZ and her had sex, they were at an apartment in Parkchester. She said, I had beat AZ. I had a beeper and AZ beat me. I didn't know it was AZ. I called the number back and AZ answered the phone. He said, come to Parkchester. I got something for you. I'm going to send a cab to get you. AZ sent the cab to get me from 100.
Like Ron Bull just said, chicks was on cats back then for that paper. She even said it at the beginning of the book. Ron Bull, she said, I did everything Rich Porter told me not to do. Got my baby in a stroller and we strolling through blocks, basically, seeing who was gonna holler and who they can catch. And that's what females did all day. And that's all I said. That's what I used to say and some of my stuff on this street knowledge. We was never bullies. We was never no tough guys. Never none of that. We never claimed to be it. I'm never gonna be up here talking like we was regulating this and the dudes knew better than this, to that. No, no. We like to get money and chill. Girls used to come through the block and pick who they like and who they want to holler at. And that's all we wanted to do. Get money and holler at the chicks. Ride around nice, whatever. And the chicks used to come through because they know we was getting money, and that's the block, one of the blocks out of Harlem streets to come to, and that's how that went. This fool here. Let's finish listening to Dumbo.
Street. And I went to Parkchester. Parkchester is a section of the Bronx. AZ had an apartment inside the Parkchester condominium complex. When I got to Parkchester, AZ met me downstairs. The cab driver knew exactly where to go because he took me straight to where AZ was at. The apartment was not furnished at all. I don't believe it was not furnished at all. I even believe there was a mattress on the floor, and I believe that's where we had sex at. Only this time there
She
was no
can't remember where
jacuzzi
she had
involved.
sex, man.
I dig this.
On none of
He
the
said
parts.
clearly AZ called me up to Parkchester just to have sex. And that was okay with me because I never wanted a relationship with AZ. AZ was
Facts,
Richard's
Ron Books.
sister's child's father, and he was supposed to
We
be
was
Richard's
getting
friend.
money,
I didn't want to
being
get it
cool
out. I didn't
cats.
want it to get out that she was having sex with AZ. I was looking out for him like he was looking out for me until he got too comfortable with his hygiene situation. Now, she said, like I said, there was no jacuzzi. I guess before.
So I guess she said that was the last time she had sex with him was in Parkchester. But now is got uncomfortable with his hygiene. I guess maybe she tried to say he was smelling saucy around her with clothes on. Maybe that's what that means. Okay, let's finish listening. I don't know.
Got there, AZ didn't shower or take a bath because he was musty all over. She said afterwards he gave me a few $100s, $500, all in single bills to be exact. AZ called me a cab to go home. I went downstairs by myself and got in the cab, and I never slept with Azie again. Big funky ass nigga. She said he funky. She must be all over the place. Just
And look at this dude in this basement, man. Can't tell me he don't look greasy. Talking about somebody, my dude. Yo, you lost your mind, man. But I'm gonna see what more. I was gonna end this. I'm gonna just go to see what more is in this garbage. And I once again, I want people to drop comments and let me know what y'all think this book was really for, and what it was about. Why? Because it don't. I'm trying to look for something interesting. I want to see a few good points, powerpoints of you know what could be a good example for these young women at this point, and what's the real reason of the book? Just because the names is up there and the power players of the names will get attention and make people want to grab it, but it won't be a worldwide bestseller. It ain't like this is something people want to know everywhere. I wouldn't even buy no book like that for what? But let me see.
comfortable with the hygiene and must. You know what I'm saying? She said when Richard died, Azie was one of the only guys who asked me if Rashana and I were okay. He asked me if I needed anything and gave me money. Oh my God, he was so nice. He really cared about Rich, I thought. I thought AZ was looking out for me because he was Rich's friend, but no, AZ was looking out for himself. He knew I was in need emotionally and financially. He took
I thought he was a good guy. I thought he was a good guy. So she ain't had no plans, no plotting, and nothing. Hold on, let me go back a little more. Thought he was a good guy. Hold up.
comfortable with the hygiene and must. You know what I'm saying? She said when Richard died, AZ was one of the only guys who asked me if Rashana
And
and
nobody
I were
else asked was
okay.
she all right?
He asked me if
Hmm.
I needed anything and gave me money. Oh my God, he was so nice. He really cared about Rich, I thought. I thought AZ was looking out for me because he was Rich's friend, but no, AZ was looking out for himself. He knew
So who was she looking out for when she started doing whatever she was doing? That's wild right there. Throw a rock and hide your hand. That's deep to me. But y'all drop comments on that, man. And make sure y'all hit that like button up here. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification so you know when I'm up here. But this is crazy for a person to just throw a rock and hide their hand. The question is, did she ever care for Rich? Was you really his girl, or was you just somebody that he had sex with and had a baby with? I don't know. Somebody let me know. Cause I'm asking. Cause evidently it wasn't hard if Abe wanted something to get it, and it wasn't that hard when she wanted something to get it because she started paging. Let's keep it 1,000 here, man. Let's go.
I was in need emotionally and financially. He took advantage of my vulnerability.
Took advantage of the vulnerability. Nobody had to know that somebody didn't have no money or things of that nature. Now let's get into the end of the book when it shows she was paging at the beginning and said she needed this and needed that. And how hard is it if somebody's gonna just start touching on you for sex for you to say no? She didn't say it was foreplay. It just started feeling so good. He was kissing my neck, nothing. She just automatically went straight into they had sex. She didn't say she said no, nothing. But let's finish listening to this clown.
21, naive and easy to deceive. Now, he knew that, and that's why he liked to deal with young girls. I've done a interview with one of his children.
So let me see what he ain't, cause he don't be reading everything. Oh my God, it was nice. He really cared about Richard. I thought Az was looking out for me because he was Richard's friend, but no, Az was looking out for himself. He knew I was in need emotionally and financially. A woman can't go and find another man for emotion. Okay, yeah, I know it ain't easy to find a dude with his financials together. I guess He took advantage of my vulnerability. I was 21, naive, and easy to deceive. The average 21-year-old girl in New York is like a 30, 32. So I'm sorry. Nah. There is no naiveness, especially if you know how to roam through them New York streets. That don't even sound right. But okay. AZ wanted a taste of what Richard had. I remember the second time we had sex. AZ and I were in the hotel in New Jersey. How many times? I mean, was it in the studio? Okay, let me finish reading. I was in the hotel in New Jersey. AZ was like, AZ was effing me from back. Oh, she remembered this position now, though. From the back. She remembers now. And he said, now I know why Richard was so in love with you. This Ussy is real good. I didn't say anything. I never said much when I F back. Then she was throwing it back. And she threw it back. That mean that was good to her too. Her and my bucket, y'all let me know if I'm bugging. When I F back, then I always stayed quiet even when I came. And and she got the bust of Nizzy. You know, most I'm surprised she didn't say I faked it until I made it. I didn't even bust a Nizzy. You know what I'm saying? She even said it. Wow. I mean, it had to be good to her too. Stop it, man. I fell right into his trap. After a while, I was outside and reckless. I was having sex with difficult guys, threesomes, and a gangbang. Oh, come on, man. See, here we go. It's getting crazy. L Bliss says she promoting herself. What's she promoting herself for, L Bliss? To do what? Back then, them chicks wasn't looking their age. That's a fact. They was messing with the hustlers for the bag. That's a fact. Same as the girls be out here now with IDs as 21 to get in and sneak in the clubs. That was those was the professionals back then. And you go downtown and get them 42nd Street fake IDs, man. That was valid in New York. They didn't have the codes on them, the barcodes and all that serious stuff. Those 42nd Street IDs made them tap in hard on the kids, such as the young women that was looking 28 when they was 15, 16, and all that. That's what made them IDs come about. L. Bliss said she promoting herself for the future earnings now. This is my street knowledge team talking right here. That's why I come up here. I ain't my knowledgeable cats be up here speaking. I ain't gotta say nothing. After a while, I was outside of reckless. I was having sex with guys, threesomes, and gangbang. Damn. Wow. That's why I was coping with. That's why I was cope. That's that's the way I was coping with life, and that's another story to be told in another book. Why would somebody want to read another book with a lot of flaws as in this one? And I guess saying these things about yourself and standing on it to make it be like, oh, she telling gotta be telling the truth if she's saying all of this. That sounds crazy to me, man. See, the brain is a terrible thing to waste. Anybody can tell you anything you believe in, and then you fall into that type of trap. And you be spending money and wondering why you even spending money on such a thing like this. That's why it's called marketing, man. You ever hear music that's trash and then you keep hearing it all the time because the radio is training your brain. You keep hearing it and hearing it. Now you think you like it. No. Get out of here, man. But that's the story to be told in another book. There was a room in Harlem that I was sniffing that yak yak. But nah, I never sniffed the yak yak or did anything hard. I smoked a little marijuana now and then, but sex was my drug. I lost a lot of weight. I was already slim, but I had gotten really skinny after Richard died. I thought A wanted to put your butt on the thing because your thing was big. So you lost weight. Which one is it? I probably didn't wait. I'm gonna see if he come up and put the other part up there. But she lost weight because of sex or because of Rich passing away? Hold up, man. That sounded kind of crazy. A lot of women I've been seeing been gaining weight up there, man. A lot of women been gaining weight. You get slim from a lot of sex now. That whole now. You ain't say all that. You got slim at the beginning. Now we down here at the bottom of I guess the book, and now all of a sudden you talk about you lost weight, but A was attracted to you, and you were slim. Come on, man. This don't. This sounded kind of crazy, man. Let's finish listening to this dumb dude, man. Yeah, Ron Boogs, that's not good.
And she said as much. She said that's why he dealt with young girls because he could manipulate them. They were easy to deceive and this and that and control.
Didn't she say she 21, Dumbo? She wasn't a young girl, stupid. And if she 21, he wasn't too far away from her, even if he was 30. You sound stupid. Yo, who be listening to this clown, man? People need to go up there in his comments and tell him, man, you was an idiot. And people that listen to him, man, y'all need to check yourself about listening to a dumb dude like him. Reading off somebody's book, telling one side story, and judging the other person all at the same time while he reading the book as if he know Az personally, or at least a little bit. You know nothing of the man. Never stood in the same room as him. He ain't even got no pictures of him even being in New York City. Never heard of it. Let alone Harlem. If show us something. You's a clown, boy.
Um, she said AZ wanted a taste of what Richard had. I remember the second time that we had sex, AZ and I were at the hotel in New Jersey. AZ was having sex with her.
I read that
Say
already.
anything, I never said much. There you go, right there. She said I fell right into his trap. That's
So he reading a book when he just read all of the things where she kept saying she paging him and she needed this and that and she fell into his trap. What kind of trap was that if you paging him? And this man's supposed to be somebody with integrity that has a podcast and people listen to a person that read a book like this. I don't know if people just like entertaining a fool or like to be being entertained by a fool, should I say? Because that's what it's looking like, man. This guy's is yo, he ain't playing with a full deck. Can't be. She was naive or she was manipulated and bruh, that's deep.
envious side of him right there. How you getting it with her and you say, oh, now I know why Rich was so in love with you. That show her you envious. That show us you envious. Her telling this story right here, man.
If that thing was that good, he would have said that at the beginning of the first two times or whatever. Now she all the way down to the bottom of the book talk about what he said about Rich. Must I see why he was in love.
This is a crazy situation. I don't know, let me know how you feel about it. But for somebody that be saying all of that, Alpo shouldn't have did this and he shouldn't have did that. You don't kill somebody you love. Why you didn't ask him this and why you didn't do that?
This dude a clown. We don't even need to hear no more of that, man. Let me see some of the comments that he got up here. Somebody said that's still supposed to be his man's loyalty. Supposed to always be to Rich, dead or alive. He had no business messing with anybody that had dealings with his man. That's why Nicky Barnes turned on his crew. Somebody said this woman belonged to the game, answering back in a reply. Back then, all of them was jaying all the same girls, man. Period. And these bras was popping up, having babies, thinking they trapping a dude, worrying about money. They didn't know that The drug money always end up either jail or death, and then you stuck with a kid. They always recycling the same women, man. That's a fact. This ain't nothing new. It's nothing new. That's what was going on back then. So for a person speaking something about what they don't know what they talking about in people business, and it ain't just New York, Harlem, it's everywhere. People get money. Everybody, all the same girls after they friends with one, they trying to see where they can go somewhere else and get the next dollar out the next dude. Not even knowing if dudes knew each other, but nine times, sometimes the dudes knew each other. A lot of dudes lost their lives over these women. A lot of dudes is in jail right now over women that was sexing other men that knew each other. Men got territorial and like, yo, you messing with my girl, and the girl was already not just jaying him and him. She had somebody else somewhere else too. You sound crazy, bro. You need to mind your business. For real, that's a good piece of street knowledge advice to you, man. But I guess you don't come outside. You probably order Uber Eats and you don't let nobody see your face because anybody work Uber Eats. When you open that door, it could be anybody and find out where you stay. Because you've been around doing this for a long time. So evidently, and you in these basements with your dumb talk. Somebody said she was playing herself. Stop acting like she didn't know what she was doing. In his comments now, facts. That's a fact. Ron Borg said A name was in brighter lights. Lots of chicks couldn't wait to get with him to see if they were going to get some paper, rather how much. Young Ty, what's good, my G? But that's a fact, Ron, because that's what it was about. Oh, A got that bread, that dude Azie, and they'll walk by just to see if he'll holler. And it wasn't just A, it was any dude that was getting money, that name was ringing in New York. And they give a girl some money. That's what they was doing, spending that bread. Why you think a lot of them didn't have the money people thought that they have when things hit the fan and money was needed? Because they was buying cars, they was buying paying rent for girls, more than one girl, all of the above. It was just moving around like that. And that's a fact. What's another comment? She knew what she had to do in order to get that money. She always beeped him right. Never mentioned him calling her without her beeping him first. Exactly. Somebody said my son's father died in 2000 when my son was 6. He was also a street dude, hustled. Just about all of his friends tried to get at me. It was like the NFL draft. I was so hurt and disgusted and cursed all of them out. They never spoke to me again. Exactly what a real woman supposed to did. And life went on. I kept it. I kept going to college and eventually obtained my nursing license. She clearly wanted to maintain the same lifestyle Rich had her accustomed to instead of maintaining honor and a moral code. Nobody forced her to keep sleeping with AZ ass. Right. Her name is at M State underscore said that. Somebody said, bro, you can't run with everything a female say, especially when they're trying to sell a book. Author underscore tank underscore th. That's a fact. Somebody said these clowns are never going to learn. Yeah, they going crazy on him in his own comments, man. He's a clown. I've never seen nobody this stupid in my life, man. Keep in mind, back in the day, it was very common for hustlers to go and pick up these young girls from school too. It was being done, but it wasn't shunned upon. And the only reason why it's being shunned upon now, and I'm not saying it in a way that it's cool and it's good, I'm just saying it's being shunned upon now because now the law started cracking down on these celebrity dudes and finding ways to put them in jail and take away the power that they have. That's why they don't lock a girl up when a girl yelled the RAPE word, the ape, the Riz ape word And then they find out she lying, they don't go lock her up and they keep doing it. And they figure that out. But now they, crack down on it, which statutory rape at that time was still a law back then, but nobody said nothing about none of that. A lot of cats was doing it. A lot of older cats used to be in my high school and girls was hollering. It is what it is back then at that time, but it's not, I want to say, it was not frowned upon back then. Now it is because of they crack down on the law about doing that. I personally I could never be attracted to a girl younger than me. It just is what it is. Now, to say it once again, like Ron Book said back then, our 15, 16-year olds was looking like 18, 19, 20. For real, for real. But the police weren't paying that no attention. They was too busy worrying about crack epidemics and stuff like that. Somebody said she liked it if she keep beeping them, and somebody said she liked the money. 5411s, Edwin jeans, doobies, money, all was the package deal. Ron Book said that's a fact. They was worrying about the 5411s and them doobies and being fresh, just to walk around the street to be fresh to go attract the next dude is what they was doing. They was recycling the women. The women was making themselves recyclable for the next man. Get a couple dollars. They ain't had no bills to pay. What was it all for? Nothing. Just to look good and cute. Not even going to school doing nothing. Now a lot of these women is in New York City looking like nothing, trying to work now when it's retirement time and trying to still holler at dudes that look good still. No, it's a wrap. And never thought that, like this other young lady just said in this clown comment, she went to college and she balked on all of her boyfriend, in which that she said that was her man. This girl didn't explain to her. Rich Porter baby mother wrote this book, did not explain to her their relationship first. She did not get into detail about how serious and in love they was, took trips together, nothing. She explained none of that. She just going the story about J and A and she was rich baby mama. You probably was in A eyes, Rich probably was like, man, this bum keep calling me. Not saying that is true with her. I don't know. I'm just saying he might have just known her already for being a jump off. I don't know. Somebody put don't save her, she don't want to be saved. Somebody said women always play innocent in these situations. This is a one side of the story. Facts. Somebody said laugh out loud, face change. They both was getting what they wanted. And somebody said true that. Exactly. She was broke. She needed him. So what the F you asking for money? So she gave it up. Somebody put right. And wouldn't y'all have been mad if he didn't give her money? Because he wouldn't have been wrong if he didn't give her no money neither. She still wanted sex. If he wanted the Nuna, the Nucci, and she wanted the anaconda, evidently. And if he wouldn't have gave her no money, it would have been what it was. Right. Somebody that's what somebody said. I guess when the money ran out, it was it was trying to write a book, which is what you could is what you it was trying to write a book, which is what you could have done in the first place since you needed a couple dollars. Right? You could have wrote a book about something else. You couldn't write a book about nothing else. That go to show you what I just said. The women went around getting their doobies and shoes. They weren't think about writing books and going to school for nursing like the other young lady did, and doing things of that nature. But now you want to write a book, a tell-all book about sex and AZ. Who cares about sex and AZ? You didn't tell your fairy tale story about you and Rich Porter. That's deep for you to do that. Who can respect a book of somebody just telling about what they did and sexed a man? That's crazy. Just because he's just controversial conversation with street talk. And it just shows your mentality that you would want to write a book of a person like that anyway. How much money you really think you're gonna make? What's the significance of it? It has no privy to what can be a bestseller. None at all. That's just it just obvious what you did. And only people gonna get it is nosy people. If I did want to read it, I'm gonna borrow somebody else's book. I wouldn't buy it. Ron Book said Harlem Players was playing as well as the playettes. Yeah, the girls was playing their game and the dudes was playing their game. That's it. We don't need no Detroit clown telling us about what's going on over here, especially reading off a gossipy book that ain't really paint no real picture of a good life that she was having with Rich Porter. No dinners with his mother. I really loved his sister, or we didn't get along because of this or that. She ain't paint no real picture and then get into depth with the book. This book wasn't edited because no professional editor would take that book because there's nothing to edit. That was like a quick rap record. You did a like a verse or a song. You did a single. That was a song. Like that don't even make sense. They both was using each other. Bro said big funky whatever. That's clown talk. No honor amongst thee. AZ swear him and Rich were like Moses and Jesus of the dope game. Somebody said also remember Alpo said in the interview that Rich and AZ didn't like each other because AZ opened up a coke spot right across the street from Rich crack spot. That's a lie. Period. A had 132. We left from 723 our building to 145th the jukebox. I used to run the jukebox at one point in time, and then we went to 134th. And then from 134th went to 132nd. Rich was still in jail. Rich probably just had came home. A already had the spot jumping, jumping. Then when Rich came home, his mother was living on 132, and he got his stuff together and started opening up over there after A. A already was popping, not paying Rich no attention, and Rich and A always had a mutual respect for each other. So that's a lie. So all these dumb conversation accusations that people be making, yeah, I'm here for it all day. And I just be sitting back watching, man, but it ain't right to a lot of people and y'all telling these stories wrong. Like get the stories right. Because at the end of the day, we trying to move things forward for these young cats that's out here killing each other, unaliving each other, excuse me, for ignorance, for nothing. They unaliving each other like it's a sport. They wake up coming outside knowing that they one day they might just be out of here for no reason, no nothing. That's just on their agendas. And we out here listening to fools like this Detroit fool and foolery books like this one, man. That's not good, man. Somebody said I do feel she saw opportunity as well and took advantage too. So she's not innocent either. It's a fact. They tearing this dude up in his own comments. But yeah, I just wanted to touch up on this, man. I appreciate my honorable, knowledgeable people out there, man. As usual, always stop through and show me love, man. If y'all new to the channel, subscribe. Cause when I come up here, I'm only gonna keep it real and talk that real talk, man. But I just couldn't stand by and let this dude, you know, disgrace AZ with the lies. And I can't let a book that has a lot of flaws in it float through internet or wherever the book is selling without me speaking my piece. So I want y'all to share this. Please share this. Anybody see this, share this, because it just needs to be shared. And we can go into nobody care about the old stories, but evidently people do because people still talk about it, especially this guy. He's infatuated with Harlem. But these stories still need to be told for these young cats that need to understand because more older cats get, they still hear these stories, is why these stories still be alive because the more people grow with them. It's like a Dr. Seuss book. It's like a Bugs Bunny's cartoons. Why those cartoons are still relevant. because the kids grow up with them because they keep them cartoons on the airwaves somewhere, and these stories stay on the airwaves. And these are going to be around as long as I be around. My kids going to be big, and it's still going to be around. But we need to counteract the people that does these idiotic things to talk about it in a derogatory way and or try to sell books off of things just to do it real quick for a quick money grab. And that's crazy. And I'm not mad at nobody to write a book, but write a book about, appropriate things. Or if you are a real book writer, you have a great imaginary, you can just imagine love stories and write books and put them out. Or you might just got some real stories to talk about. Talk about the real things that you went through with Rich. Talk about the inside parts of it. And then all stories ain't good stories. Then you get into the little, the ugly parts of it or whatever. But to just breeze through and talk about the sexual ventures, and you was just rolling through here to make stuff sound like it's so legitimate. It's a easy, you can pick this book alive that is not an official book. It was just something to do something real quick, man. So I'm not here to downplay the book or disrespect nobody, no disrespect to her. I'm just speaking facts because I was there. It's facts that those things that I pointed out is not real. It's not real reality. And that's not fair to Rich Porter himself, for you to utilize his name for a money grab and he not even here. So how much love do you have for him yourself? You never spoke one good thing about Rich Porter in there. None of these paragraphs that I seen in this supposed to be book is said anything that highlighted Rich Porter as the type of person he was. Because it's clear as day people got bad things to say about him. A lot of them don't know what they talking about certain things, and they have their opinion of certain things. But at the end of the day, if you are the baby mother and you can speak something for him, to speak something good for him, and then go into the ugly stuff. That's just my jewels to you for writing a book. And if you are a real book writer, then you should have at least 3, 4 other ones by now. If you didn't have one before this one, but if this your first one, why would you want to start it off in this manner? But even if so, let's say if so, cool. Where is the next one? What the next one gonna be about? So that's all I'm saying. I'm not here to disrespect. I'm here to put light on things. And that's what I do. I bring that street knowledge, man, and I'm always gonna do that, man. For real, for real. And I don't really answer back to clowns, but I had to answer back to this one once again. Cause and we know he ain't gonna stop, but who cares? Ain't nothing he could say. Nothing. And I'm sure he researched about me. I ain't the greatest or the best, but my stuff is impeccable, man. I stay on point. And I make sure that I do what I supposed to do. I don't disrespect nobody, and I show love, and I try to help people, and that's why my name always gonna be great. So ain't too many things you gonna find out about me, brother. And I'm human, so I go through things too, but I snap out of it. Other than that, you ain't gonna hear nothing crazy about Boosie, man. Signing out. Peace to my knowledgeable people out there. Make sure y'all share. If you new, subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when I'm up here. Please hit that like button, man. Peace.